Hi, I'm Lisanne Miller with W, Cushing and Company, and welcome to May's Third Thursday. This is in conjunction with Rug Hooking Magazine, and we love working with Rug Hooking Magazine and bringing these educational series to you. This is not the latest Rug Hooking Magazine, but it is the one before, an excellent issue. If you didn't get it now. The one that is this issue has a beautiful, beautiful boating scene. It has the moons in it, the new series of same kind of different, same pattern, different views. So we have sold out. That's how popular it is. Actually, we've sold out twice. So make sure you get it if you would like that copy, because I'm sure it's selling out all over. Today is part 2 of Paisleys. And thank you all for that wonderful encouragement. I know a few people even bought Paisleys after that video. So I'm glad that you're buying them, appreciating them, and using them. It's wonderful to see that. So for those that, just as a refresher, this is the Paisleys. Okay, this is just a piece of Paisley. And I am dyeing a piece in similar color wave to this today. So today we're going to dye the Paisleys, the cutter Paisleys. We're not doing a good Paisley. We don't want to ruin a good Paisley. So what I've done is, this is a little bit of a different dye. You don't have to do it in a pan. You can do it in a pot, but you have to control 3 things: the temperature of the water, the amount of the water, and the amount of the vinegar that you set it with. So first thing we're going to do is set the pan. So come on over and we're going to set the pan first. So I have soaked this Paisley, but I want to show you something different. What's in here is 6 cups of water. If you are doing it in a pan, you need to fill the pot very high up because we don't want this to burn. This is delicate fiber, it is wool, but we still don't want it to burn. So in each of these pans, I have 6 cups of water. And that is called a float. We're going to float the dye on. So I do address float in the dye book, but now you're actually going to see it in process. So this is a larger piece of Paisley. It's actually a piece from the one I first showed you. And I'm going to sit in here, and I'm not going to bunch it up like a spot dye because we want it to cover. The float actually helps to cover as well. This is not a full yard. This doesn't weigh like a yard of wool or a half yard of wool. So you're also going to make a formula and use half of it for 2 pans. So let me repeat that again. The formula I'll go over in a minute, and we're going to use half of it in each pan. What I'm doing right now is we do not want it to fold over on itself. See, that was folded over. We want it all nice so it will get the dye and not fold over. And this is also the same thing if you're setting a pan for wool. I always run my finger down it each side on the back because, see, here we go again, it has folded onto itself. It's tricky that way. So there you are. There you go. That pan is ready. We're going to do the 2 pans at once. So this is a larger piece of Paisley. So this sets up, and you can see the puddles of water. That is what you want. You want that float to come up. This is pieces of Paisley, which is more of what you're going to probably be doing. And so also, when it's wet, you see a lot of the color come out. Isn't that pretty? Almost hate to dye it, but it'll be pretty at the end too. And pieces can be done. They can fill a pan, okay, just as well. You can put this in and out of a pot with tongs, but you never get the true sense and it doesn't dye through. So we need to really make sure that we get it and do it right. And here's another piece, which is a bigger piece. And these were soaked overnight. This is a thicker fabric a little bit. So you do need to soak it so it will go all the way through. If you're going to do this process, don't skimp on it. Set yourself up. Don't just try and rush it. And make sure that it fits in the pan. And this will fit in the pan. I have to see, this is a cutter, so you can tell this is a cutter. Now, some color combinations that you can use. We're going to do greens today. Why are we going to do greens? Well, because I need greens for my next project. So we're going to do greens today. And I will post a picture of what they look like at the end. But some other color combinations that work really well. Black walnut. You can, and the same formula that I'm dyeing, you would use just black walnut. Black walnut will age this, will give it a look, and you'll get a beautiful tree bark out of it. So black walnut is also a very good one to use. Another good one to use is mulberry, red grape, burgundy. I'll repeat it. Mulberry, red grape, burgundy. That's another great color combination. If these were lighter in color, I would use some golds. Or you can also, if you're a brighter, you want a brighter model of it, you can use turquoise or turquoise green or turquoise blue. But you just try it. Look at the color when it's wet. This will tell you how it's going to take, because when it dries 2 shades lighter. So you can see, I could go over this with mulberry, burgundy, red grape. You can go over this with black walnut. You can go over this with old gold and nugget gold. But today we're going to do something a bit different. So we're going to step back and look at our recipe. Now that our pans are ready, you see the pooling water. That's what we want. We want that float. We got a good float. Everything looks good. So we're going to come on back now. And what we're going to do now is we're going to look at the recipe. Okay? So we've soaked the paisley. We've laid it flat in the pan. We have the 6 cups of float. Now, the dye solution cannot be piping hot. I have poured this about 5 minutes ago. It's got to be temperate. And my dye solution is 1/8 of hunter green, okay, in 4 cups of boiling water, 1/8 of bronze green in 4 cups of boiling water, and 1/8 of bronze in 4 cups of boiling water. Now, we are only going to use 2 cups of each solution per pan. So I'm not going to pour it out into 2 cups. I can pretty much pour it. But if you wanted to, you would now split these into 2 cups each. So we're only going to use 2, 4, 6 cups. Why are we doing this? We are doing it because we have the float. The float moves it around a lot more. So, and I'm not going to spoon it on. I am going to pour it on. I'm not going to spot dye it. I'm just going to cover it. So we're going to start right now. All right, here is hunter green going on. So we're going to come on back and we're going to use the hunter green. And I'm going to pour it just like this. And I'm just going to swirl it because I've got more to do. Oops, I used all 4. Well, that's okay. That's okay. It's not exact. We used all 4 on that one. The next one, now I want to make sure, okay, I want to see, you can see it's there but not there, but there's a lot of color in here, so it will absorb it. Now this is not going to change it drastically. I don't want to change it drastically. I just want to enhance it. That's all I want to do. So I'm going to move this hunter, which is something we don't normally do, but now I'm going to take the hunter and I'm going to move it around. And that's what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to move it. I'm going to move it until it gets, and it is covered. It may not show. You can pinch it and see it's covered lightly. And you may want a stronger solution. You may not want it this light. So if you don't want it this light, that's okay too. But I only want it to cover lightly. So now, so I don't over pour again while I'm talking, see, doing 2 things at once, I am going to pour approximately, and pour over this because if you spill onto it. So I've got 2 cups and 2 cups. So I'm going to be double fisted about this, okay? I'm going to be double fisted. and I'm going to pour it. Okay? So you can see it's taken it up. It's not going to change it drastically. If you want it darker, you increase the amount of dye. You can double it or triple it. You could go to a quarter or a half, but that's not my goal. My goal is to let the paisley show through, and here I come into here with this. Okay? My goal is to let the paisley show through, but to enhance it with a green wash. So that's what I'm doing. I'm enhancing it with a green wash. So there we go. And you can see, this is an interesting thing. This is wool, and it is taking up the dye quite quickly. It is absorbing it because I did soak it overnight. So my last one is bronze. My last one is bronze, and I'm going to pour it over here. And this is a good way to pour when you're going to split if you don't trust yourself. Because if you do it that way, yeah, it dribbles into here, but it's not hurting anything. At least it's better than doing that and dribbling on your floor. So here's my last one. And there we go. And then I'm going to come into here. Now remember, I'm only accenting it. I'm not trying to cover it. If you want to cover it and you want it covered and to become different, then you would increase these 1/8 to a half or a quarter. But you see, it's going to slowly take up the dye, and this is a slow process. So I'm going to make sure I've moved this around enough. I'm going to make sure that, see, this has the dye in it too. You can see it, the 3 greens. You could have used the 1 green, but I wanted some highs and lows. Now here comes this, we're going to set it. So here we are, we're going to set it. So I've done a 1/4 cup of vinegar, white vinegar. Our Cushing dye set perfect with white vinegar. Did a 1/4 cup and then filled this up to 1 cup with water, okay? Now I'm going to do a 1/2 cup in here and a 1/2 cup in here. We don't want a strong mordant. Would not be happy with citric on this. Ooh, look at pretty close. That's a good thing. So we're going to swirl it in, okay, because we don't want the acid to eat the antique fiber. Citric would do that most likely. You can see it's changed up a little bit. Now, make sure you like what you see. This is a little different than normal dyeing. If I wanted to come back in and enhance the color or add to the color, you can do that right now. The mordant is in, but because it is in the float, you can put another color on top and not add the vinegar again, because you would press it down and it would get the vinegar from the float. This is the advantage of dyeing with a float. So we're all set, we're all ready to go. And again, I'm just enhancing the color, I'm not changing it. And I'm putting this on low. My burners are going to low, and if you use a gas stove, which we do, make sure you have low marked if it's not. We have little marks on our stove for low. So there we are. We're going to cook this for 20-25 minutes until it's exhausted. And then it's a pretty green too. Once it's exhausted, then we will wring it out. Do not put this in the dryer. Hang this to dry. Do not put it in the dryer. You're going to hang to dry, and if it stops raining, you can hang outside, and then see your beautiful results. So let's go back and go over a few more things one more time. You're going to soak your paisley overnight. You're going to lay it flat in the pan. Yes, you can use a pot, but you've got to control that pot. You cannot make it simmer. My pan has 6 cups of float water in it. You want the dye to float around. This also helps with the antique fiber. You're going to pour your dye solution. You're going to set with a mild vinegar and cook on low. 12-15 minutes. I don't know if the dye would be exhausted. 20 minutes max. Check it at 12, check it at 15, and then check it at 18. No more than 20 minutes. Do not let it boil. Here is the dye bath that I used. Again, I am only enhancing the color. I am not covering the paisley. So I have an 1/8 teaspoon of hunter green in 4 cups boiling water. An 1/8 teaspoon of bronze green, 4 cups boiling water. 1/8 teaspoon of bronze in 4 cups boiling water. I only use 2 cups per pan. So I split the 4 into 2 to get 2 dye baths. Yes, you can dye wool with this formula as well. Yes, you can dye yarn with it. Other colors you could use, you can use burgundy, red grape, mulberry. You can use old gold, gold, nugget gold. You can go turquoise, turquoise blue, turquoise green. You can go, I don't see a reason to dye with the red. The Paisleys are already red. So you could do Copenhagen blue, blue, sky blue, but that's a little light. It may not show unless you have a lighter Paisley. So these are all different ways that you can dye this and come out with something really, really different. Make it look nice, make it look beautiful. So if you have any questions, just send them in or put them under the video post and we will answer them for you. I hope that you do dye your Paisley and I hope you get beautiful results. I will post the pictures along with the video of the completed Paisleys. Bye for now.